global concern of gender inequity. We are Project Kenya, Kenyan Education for Neglected Youth Association. And we want to thank Dr. Patterson for giving us this opportunity to put your $20 million to good use. And we want to thank the camera crew and all the delegates of the conference and to the conference EMCs for this. And why did we choose Kenya? Well, that's a good question. I will now pass it on to Hamza and Zina to talk about their personal experiences when they were at Kenya.
Alright, so I'm Hamza, and I'd like to start this off by showing you a short video of a lady that I admire.
I used to cry, I want to go to school, and they took me to school.
When I was in primary school, we were in a class of 13 ladies, and now I'm the only one who is not married.
The work of a woman in our community is just to get old, being married, give children, cook for the husband, and that's all. But at a point they wanted me to drop at primary school.
Okay, so the first lady that we saw in the video is a lady who came here and she presented to us at my school, and she shared her experience, and she told us how important the education was to her mother, herself, and her entire family. As soon as Dr. Patterson said that there's $20 million that can be put into good use, the first person that came to my mind is Nadia, the lady who was the first speaker on this video. Now I'll leave it to Zina to talk about her experience.
My first encounter with Kenya was in my last year of high school, where I actually went to a missions trip to Kigali, Kenya. It started out with just purely academics. I figured it would be an excellent asset to university applications, but when I went there, my intentions completely changed. I saw how these women lived in these conditions that they lived in, how they lived off only $1 a day, which is not even a coffee for us here. And so what we ended up doing was we got a team of 20 people together, we raised the funds, and we built 2 schools in Kenya so that women could get education. The picture that was actually on the first slide of those students in the red outfits, they're actually the ones that, they're real students from our school. And both those schools are still up and running today. Now I would like to introduce Project Kenya to you. We have Kevin King, who is essentially concerned with the morality and ethics that arise from gender inequity. We have Martin Yu, who is essentially concerned with the psychological factors that arise from gender inequity. We have Hamza Alatar, who is essentially concerned with the effects of gender inequity on women's education. And myself, who is essentially concerned with the effects of the lack of education on women's health. And now I'll give it over to Kevin to talk about morals and ethics.
Thank you, Zina.
Tara and I'm essentially concerned with the effects of gender inequity on women's education and social status. During my research, I found that 50% of the 75 people that are neglected education are women. That is 776 million women worldwide. This is a major issue. It makes women have less control and less representation and more dependent on men. Therefore, our project, Project Kenya, came up with a solution to address and begin with the sponsorship of 10 Kenyan youth to come to Canada and study here, each with a $20,000 scholarship to complete a 4-year bachelor degree of their own choice. Upon their arrival, they'll be supplied with their basic needs. So at the Canadian Centre, there'll be a cafeteria so that it supplies them with food, dorms so that they can sleep and live in, and along with that, they'll be provided with weekly classes where they will be provided with education on women's rights, human rights in general, and how to manage their own lives. Along with that, we'll open the doors to Canadian youth so that they would come and exchange experiences with the Kenyan youth, and that way both sides would benefit. Because based on our polls that we did on the website, if you had a chance and you did them, we can see that there's even Canadian youth to this point are not fully aware of the issues worldwide. So by doing this and giving the opportunity to Canadian youth to come and talk to the Kenyan people, we're not only helping the Kenyan people come over their language barriers, but also to help the the Canadian people learn from the Kenyan people and their culture. Our purpose is to empower women. We want to make them the leaders of the future. So in order to do that, we will send back the graduates who would be sponsored to go back to Kenya, and we'll have another center in Kenya where they will give weekly classes to all women of all ages. And to make it more accessible to all women, we'll have daycares, because we know that in Kenya another issue is that a lot of girls get married really young and they have kids really young. So in order to complete their education, make it accessible for them, we'll provide them with daycares for their children.